Alright. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Took a long break. It wasn't intended. It just kind of happened. So, we're back. We're making more YouTube videos. We're here on Twitch. We're going to look at the balance adjustments. Oh, yeah, I guess it's the first time YouTube seeing, like, the face cam set up. If you guys were cool, you'd be over here on Twitch hanging out, you know? Just saying. So, we are getting some balance changes here. We're getting a bunch of fire things, pretty much, right? So, Melissa, Cecilia, Tenebria, Rose, Clarissa, Kawazu, S-Tenny, Fighter Maya, Celestial Mercedes, which is not really much of a buff. It's just kind of like a nice thing. Doris, Rekroar, buffing Holy Sacrifice, Shamaja Staff, Uber's Tooth, and Dignus Orb. So first here, we're going to go with Melissa, right? Because she's first in the list. So basically, she gets a skill reset on her, I believe this is her S2, right? Which is pretty cool. But I don't like win more mechanics. This is a win more mechanic. Yeah, it's just, if you're killing something, you're already winning. So, I mean, I guess if you're doing some kind of YOLO comp, this is pretty good. Virus and threat protection. Get out of here. Okay. And then now she has a full strip too. Kind of like Isarius S3. She does the same thing. But it's good. It's you don't need too much effectiveness because you're not going to be trying to one-shot units like Ruel and shit. So it's just kind of whatever. But for hitting stuff like Charles, this is pretty good. And Charles is a threat right now. Obviously. She might have a place in Guild War defense. Mine's not moled. If they give us some more damn molas, maybe I'd mola her and try her out. But, yeah. I like the changes in her kit. I don't really need to read this down here. But, I think this is a good buff. I think it makes her more viable. I don't know how well it's going to impact RTA, though. She's still too squishy. You could breathe on her and she can die even if she has Immortal. And to get Immortal, she actually has to get her combo off, right? Or you actually use her thing. Her S2 gives her the Immortal, right? Yeah. Granting immortality for one turn. So, like, you could always miss a crit, which just kind of happens sometimes. Unless you have literally 100% crit, which is good. Probably something you should have on her. And then, yeah. You get Immortal. But if your opponent has a Charles, he's going to strip your Immortal anyways because he doesn't care if you're fire. So, have fun with that. I think she's pretty good. Cecilia is actually beast now. Yeah. I think that's, like, basically, like, this is okay, whatever. But, getting immunity on her S3, like, I think any DPS unit that can apply immunity is really good. Vivian's really strong. I know, like, you might not see a whole lot of Vivians, like, in other places, but all three of our forts in Veritas are using Vivian in their Guild War defense. Just because she provides attack buff immunity and etc. And she can hit like a truck. This change is also really good. Attack down's really good. So I think Cecilia is definitely just more viable now. To use in Guild War defense, to use in RTA as a bruiser. She's definitely solid. Pair her with some Dizzy shenanigans in Guild War, you could do that, and it's pretty good. Tenebria got her 87th buff. More sleep chance on S1, which is already good. What the fuck changed here? It's just more, okay, it's the same thing. And then they just, like, changed this to, like, read better, I think. And put them to sleep. Just, like, didn't change. What the fuck? With a 70% chance, max 75 chance to decrease defense for 2 turns and put them to sleep for 1 turn. Chance each to... They just added the each? Is that what they did? Oh, it's mistranslated? Okay. And that's what it is. The way it reads here is that before it said they have the same chance. Oh, so they both have the same chance now? Because this over here, it says they, it's a separate chance. Like, 85 for the defense, 85 for the sleep because of the each. And over here, it's just 85 for both at the same time. So either you hit them both or you miss them both. Is how this reads. I don't know if that how, like, I'll have to go and look at her after this. Spectre Tenebria, basically she turned into a, she's Zerato version 2. I'll just go look at her after this to verify everything. I have her just sitting in my box. Estini's gonna be sick. I'm gonna assume this not trigger a counterattack counts for Elbrus. She'll still trigger SSB, which is whatever. But I'm gonna assume it doesn't proc Elbrus, which is pretty good. Pretty sick, actually. Because the only reason she's really not relevant right now is because Charles is so relevant. But, like, it also depends on ML Kin. Because it's possible she could still get counterattacked by ML Kin. I mean, it says it can't trigger a counterattack, but ML Kin's thing reads when he gets crit. So, we're just going to have to wait and see if it does or not. I know Kin doesn't counter Lytic, or Faithless Lytica's S2. So I'm going to assume Kin doesn't counter this either. And she's just a straight up fuck you to Kin at this point. ML Kin. Like, ML Kin on Guild War defense, you just bring S10 and blow him up. No big deal. Like, you just use your S3 on one thing and then just start spamming S2 on ML Kin and he just dies. So, yeah. Yeah, SSBs is just based off her focus and then it triggers. It's not necessarily a counterattack. But yeah, Spectre Tenebria is going to be a beast. Look forward to a video from me. I'll try and do some kind of video. If you don't see a video, then just pop in the stream and you'll see me using her in RTA or something. Because I'm definitely going to be using her when she gets buffed. She's plus 15. I'm ready to start using her. Rose here. They just gave her a defense buff, right? And increased her barrier strength. Which is okay. I mean, I don't think this really changes anything. It's just, okay, that's nice. That's about it. That's nice. Clarissa, another, oh, well, that's nice. Like, that's about it. You don't have to turn her skills off if you use her in Wyvern anymore. So, that's nice. That's about all that is. That's nice. Kawazu, decreased defense. I'm pretty sure I literally just suggested this in a video very recently. Well, not recently. A couple weeks ago. Like, he was one of the units I would say, like, that needs a buff. And I said give him a defense break on S3. But they didn't follow through. I said when he crits, let him proc his S1 so he can hit his own defense break. This shit still isn't enough. He's still not good. He's still not worth building because he's whatever. Grats, you get a defense break on your S3 that you can't do anything on.
Correct your posture.
Thanks for the follow on. Like, okay, Kwazu. This ain't it. Not it. Not enough. Fighter Maya, why'd they buff her? What'd they buff her for? I mean, there's some chances where I'm like, provoke, when I'm using her on offense right and she doesn't land it. So, and I'm always sitting on souls too. So I think this is a nice change for offense. It's going to be really nice. And then they just basically made this shit do more damage because it does the same damage as with the Soul Burn without the Soul Burn now. And the extra turn is just like, why? What do you need this for? I mean, you might be able to like wombo combo Arbiter Vildred with this, to be honest. Like, say you smash Arby, right, with S3, and then you Soul Burn provoke him so he doesn't use his S3. Like, what the fuck? I think that's what you do with her. Like, but you didn't even need to do that. That's just a win more condition, I think. And like I said, I'm not a fan of win more conditions. If you're already winning, you're already winning. So, I don't know. I kind of want to read the reasoning behind this. Fighter Maya is a hero who has great survivability and damage output once a certain condition is met. No shit. She will be improved. Why? So that her presence in battle can be maximized. I think she's already pretty good. And to this end, she will be given an additional turn when she successfully deletes an enemy hero. In addition, the damage output for her skill finishing attack will be increased so that it matches the damage it dealt with Soulburn. My Fighter Maya can crit like 40k Soulburn S3. So like, there you go. Sorry, I'm just like, what the fuck? She's already so good. Mine's plus 10. And I'm about to like Mola her and 6-star her on my ult too. As the Soulburn effect for finishing attack will now become base attack damage. A new Soulburn effect will be given to strike or provocation. If Fighter Maya Soulburn strike or provocation, she will have a 100% chance to provoke, which is good. There's, like I just said, there's been situations where like I was needing a provoke from Fighter Maya and she didn't get it. Now I can just get 15%ed instead of 50%ed with 15% after that, right? So I can actually reliably land some more provokes. And it's easy to get some effectiveness on her because she literally, like, she doesn't need effect resist at all. She doesn't really need speed at all. So you just build her with, like, a decent amount of effectiveness, maybe like 70-ish, and then tank stats, right? On counter set, if you want. With a higher provoke chance, I think counter set is a little bit more viable now. Personally. So you can build her base speed. Also gets an extra turn. Like, my Fighter Maya hits hard. She, like, chunks Kali for, like, Assassin Kali for 6k. With S1 already. So, like, this just gives me, like, more incentive to use her more. Which I already use her a lot anyways. So, okay, thanks. Thanks for buffing a unit I used a lot that didn't need it, I guess. Good job, Smog. Great balancing. Celestial Mercedes, they just moved her Soulburn to make more sense, right? Which is good. I don't use Celestial Mercedes, so anybody that uses her, congrats. She's a little bit, she makes more sense now. And then Doris. Doris is interesting. Like, what do you guys think about Doris? Like, involve the chat a little bit. Because, like, I've never used Doris, but with the Mola change, right? So you can plus 15 her for free, which is just pretty good, right? So that's pretty nice, I think. I know some people use her. And yeah, her base speed's pretty bad. Like, I might build her. She's one of those units, I think you build Doris when you have literally no Molas, right? And you have enough things to make a 6-star. And you just need, like, another thing. That's Doris. That's when you build your Doris. It's very interesting, though. She has the defense buff, too, right? She gives defense buff? Or am I tripping? I can't remember. I have to go look at her again. Or is it Elson? Elson gives defense buff. I don't think she does. I don't know. I have to go look. Wreck Roar, she's basically the same. She does have a defense buff? Okay. So yeah, she's pretty good just for that. It's pretty good. I might try building her. I'm building Gunther first, because I want to test out Uber's Tooth. Spoilers. Holy Sacrifice. The thing about this, like, it's just kind of, like, whatever, right? It's just, okay, you get a barrier. So, actually, let me read what Lilac said about this. Because I think he hit the nail on the head. I believe that if there is no cooldown on skills, and a slightly beefier unit... Wait, what the... Did he rewrite this? Purpose is to guarantee the sack holder gets a turn. Benefits passives like S10, question mark. So unless a unit has impact after rezzing, 1-turn barrier is not going to matter. By the way, if the artifact barrier is bigger than Krau's S3 barrier, the S3 barrier will just overwrite and make the barrier smaller. So it's definitely niche. Maybe Butcher. So yeah. Could be useful on Butcher. That's the only unit I could really see this being useful for. Maybe. Just have to see. Maybe, like if Krau dies early on, right? So he's low on the CR bar. It could help him survive to get his S3. But that usually rarely happens. So, I don't know. Yeah. You replace your barrier with a shittier barrier. Good job, Smoggett. Okay, so Shamadras, I think this is sick, and I just sold all mine, so I'm kind of sad. Rip. This is good. Effect resistance is just always nice to have. I don't know, like, what real situation you'd use this in. Like, you don't run, like, 2 Soul Weavers on arena defense. If you do, you just get cleaved or you get autoed. And you kind of like just need Rod or Water's Origin or just there's more useful ones that you can use. Right? So, I think it's good. DJ Basar, yeah, it's pretty good for him. Maid, I would definitely keep Water's Origin on. DJ Basar, he kind of does his thing and then he just goes away. So, I think it could be pretty good for him. But, anyone else? I don't know. I wonder what Lilac said about that. 20% ER is nice because Rod gave cleansing healers with weak heals the ability to heal. Shamadra can potentially give healers with lukewarm cleansing, but strong heals the ability to function better. To be honest, they could have just done some cleansing effect, but ER is nice. Shamadra staff, becoming stronger also impacts lifesteal and skill-based recovery, so this may be more functional than at first glance. So yeah, I didn't even really think about like lifesteal mechanics. Maybe like Violet's S2 and stuff. Like maybe pair like some kind of Soul Weaver using it with Violet. I don't know like who else you would do with that pairing in like in Guild War defense. Maybe like a Maid, because Maid's passive. Like Maid, Violet comp with something else that self-sustains somehow. Could be interesting. Maybe like a lifesteal Crow, you know, meme forehead. So, who knows? Could be interesting. And then Uber's Tooth. This is something I'm looking forward to because I got a plus 31. Yeah, it's basically a single target drink now. I'm not sure how the damage compares. I think it's similar. But I know it's 45% of your attack. Which is a lot. And it ignores 70% defense. So if we were to like do like quick head maths, right? Say they have 1,000 defense. You're going to be hitting 300 defense. I could actually just bring up the damage calculator. Let's do that real quick. Why not? Comparable to Portrait in terms of damage output? That's not bad. Can I even bring out... I'm not going to bother with it. But yeah, 45% attack, ignores 70% defense. That's pretty good. And that also doubles up on a defense break. So if you hit a defense break and then Uber's Tooth procs, it's actually like 83% of defense that you ignore. So that's pretty good. Oh, it does? That's sweet. I'm going to have to go play around with that then. So yeah, I'm like building Gunther just to try this artifact out. And I'm going to try him out with Yuna and give him greater attack buff. Like, and just try to get him decently fast to where like he can benefit from the speed buff and the attack buff. Maybe like 8k attack, 200 speed. We'll see if we could do that with him. I'll try and do that with him. And then pop Lilius in there too and just have some fun. At least until real season of Guild Wars starts. So, That's actually pretty insane. 3,500 attacks army of greater attack gets 2,700 bonus. And then hitting a defense break, that would be even higher. It would be like 3.1 or something like that, which is pretty good. And that's a low attacks army. Oh, it does. Well, it ignores 70%. So maybe it's just not calculating correctly or something. Dignus Orb. Dignus Orb just is a sleeper artifact for Vivian. That's really it. This is pretty good. If you have one of these maxed out, I would suggest trying it on Vivian. But that's really the only viable unit you can use it with. You may be able to throw this on C-Dom. I don't know why you would use like a C-Dom on defense. Because using this on offense, you're going to be using Book, right? So I think Vivian is the only option that can really take advantage of this. Maybe Luluka. But Luluka already gets a barrier with her S2, right? So it's kind of like counterproductive. So, I don't know. Yeah. Huh. Do you think we should talk about Charlotte now or do it in a separate video? Let's just talk about her now. Fuck it. It's gonna be a long video. I haven't really analyzed this a lot. I've kind of read through it a little bit. I've never used Charlotte. I know what she does. I know she builds focus over time, hits really hard with her S3. Low stun chance on her S2. I know that's what she does. I know she takes a while to ramp up. But that's her now. I mean, before. I mean, still now, but before as I'm reading this, right? So, yeah, Enru's not here right now. Basically, let's just go through and read her shit, right? I don't care about the before, we're looking at the after. So attacks with dual swords with a 50% chance to decrease attack for 1 turn. They got rid of the defense break because they figure, oh, decreasing attack helps her take hits and shit, right? That was their reasoning. When the caster is buffed and activates a skill on their turn, by the way. So, no Elbrus, no counter attack, right? The attack will target all enemies. I'm guessing this will be her S2 animation right now, like she'll jump and slam the ground. I'm assuming, since their S2 is now a passive. The attack will target all enemies and increase the caster's combat readiness by 20%. It does not trigger dual attack. So, this I think is really good. And specifically for like RTA, I think she's going to be like more viable in Guild War defense as well. Like she's just a very strong fire bruiser in a meta where there's a lot of units that are dumb to shit on SSB, right? So she could definitely be paired with an SSB. Like just imagine SSB Charlotte Charles defense for a minute. Like that shit's going to be such a pain in the ass to beat. Even though I probably just ML kin that shit, but how many people have ML kin? I think she's going to be pretty good. She's like a tankier Kayron. And her passive gives her a free defense buff, which is like 50% damage reduction, right? And she gains fighting spirit, which is cool. She gets an attack buff too, right? Increased attack and defense, yeah. And we're assuming this is actually a buff, right? Not like Corvus Rage, where he just gets the stats. It's an actual attack and defense buff. I mean, I guess it wouldn't really synergize with this if it wasn't a buff. So I'm going to say it's a buff. Which is good. It's like Fighter Maya mechanic, right? And you don't even need Mola in this to make it 100% chance to proc defense break, which is pretty cool. And then Vortex, I know they nerfed the damage by like 33%, right? Oh, 34.4%. Okay. Thing is, like, this shit hit hard as fuck. The multiplier was, like, stupid high for an AoE anyways. So, people that are like, oh, they nerfed the shit out of her damage. Well, like, if she was this same damage after this buff, she would literally, like, one-shot teams constantly. Like, that would be, like, fucking crazy. Because she does hit really fucking hard right now. So, with the more consistent use of this, I don't think, like, it needed to do that much damage. Yeah, 2.4. That's fucking high. That's probably, that's the highest in the game for an AoE, isn't it? Pretty sure. That's really hard. With a 0.8 POW, right? Something like that. It's fucking busted. Thing is, like, people are, like, upset that they nerfed her damage here, but she's literally better, like, the entire time you're using her everywhere else. Because before this, she did, like, nothing. Like, a mediocre chance to stun, right? And then she's just smacking shit. She lost her defense break, which is kind of feels bad. But, like, I don't like 50% chance shit. Even if it is a 2-turn debuff. But, yeah. I think the way to build her, you want to take advantage of the fact that she has CR. So I think you build her like base speed. With RTA in mind, right? So you build her really bulky with as much damage as you can, and you ignore speed. Obviously, you ignore effectiveness, and obviously you ignore effect resistance. So you'd build her like fucking beefy. Basically like how, like if you were to build a really slow SSB that you wanted to survive to get counters off of, or get S2 procs, you'd build her like that. You'd really take advantage of Hell Raid gear. Put 88 gear on her, put the 88 helmet on her, put the 88 ring. You could probably get away with like a counter set or, you know, whatever else. The immunity chest piece from Raid. And you really push like her stats as high as you can get them so that she survives. Take advantage of Elbrus proccing, and then take advantage of getting hit, right? And then you gain CR in your turn anyways. When the caster is buffed. So yeah, she gets 20% CR. So like on her first turn attacking, like I don't know what do you guys know 20% is equivalent to how much speed? In the chat, like, because I don't know. Like, I know with the CR push from my Yuna and a speed buff, she goes from 250 speed to like 400 and something. And it was Abdar that told me that shit. So like CR is like every time she attacks, as long as you have a buff, right? She's essentially faster. So I guess it really depends on like what else is there, whatever the fastest unit is. I guess it's going to be different every time. But like getting the passive CR push from my Yuna, which is like 8% or something, if she hits 4 targets, with a speed buff, goes from 250 speed to 404. So, like, getting CR push every time she attacks is going to make her feel like she's a lot faster than she is, so you can build her slower and just take advantage of Elbrus. And then whenever she attacks, she just gains CR, which is fine. Own passive buffs, which is great, that reapply, so even if she gets stripped, the next time she gets hit, it just goes back anyways, which is just so good. I think she's sick, and I kind of want to build her. Smilegate, give me more molas. Please. Just give me more molas, so I can build Charlotte. I gotta build Sarmia first. Yeah, Kawana and Charlotte could definitely be a cool thing. But yeah. Alright, YouTube. I don't know how long this video was. Probably long as shit. Where's ML Leo buff? He's useless. Arbiter Vildred will still insta-kill all of them. Absolutely disappointing. Besides the Melissa and Spectenibria buffs, the rest are pointless. They won't impact the game at all. Instead of balancing the current disgusting bruiser meta, you decide to buff Fire Tenebria again, for the 4th time. Okay, buddy. Some people, like... It's like every lollipop they eat has fucking dirt on it. Like, okay. But yeah, that's going to be the video. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.